Actually,
Já para apresentar? Boa noite a todos. Sejam todos bem-vindos do plano espiritual e do plano dos encarnados também. Vamos então iniciando mais uma noite de estudo pela língua inglesa, que nós estamos aqui neste país. E como pedimos por gentileza que desliguem os celulares para que não venha importunar o palestrante. E vamos, como sempre, fazendo uma prece onde nós elevamos o nosso pensamento mais alto, agradecendo a presença dos amigos espirituais aqui, que sempre estão nos abençoando, protegendo, felizes por estarmos aqui tentando a nossa evolução espiritual e moral. E vos pedimos, amigos queridos, que nos abençoem, nos protejam, nos guiem, nos iluminem, nos inspirem, para que possamos crescer cada vez mais na direção do Mestre Jesus. E é Ele que nós vamos agradecendo no fundo do coração, pela oportunidade que se renova toda semana, do estudo, do aprendizado e do nosso aperfeiçoamento também. Vamos então enchendo o nosso coração de amor e direcionando esse amor ao nosso querido companheiro Henrique, que fará a apresentação do tema desta noite. Vibremos intensamente por ele para que ele seja feliz como sempre na exposição do tema desta noite. A dama da vida, é isso? De drama, ok. Deus abençoe a todos.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mm-hmm. Good evening. Oh my gosh, this is on. Hello, hello. Hi. Right? Is it okay? Good evening, everyone. Yeah. Hey, testing. Can you hear me now? Yeah, that's fine now. Yeah. Now, officially, good evening, everyone. What I'm going to bring this evening, the study that we are going to be talking today, reminds me the presentation I did, the same one, kind of, okay? I put something a little bit different. But the one I did here for the Portuguese speakers, and it was interesting because by the time that I was coming on stage, I dropped. And I fell off on the floor. And it was interesting because some people were, oh my gosh, look at that head, and tried to help me. And it was on purpose. And I had asked some people to say, hey, you're going to be judging me, you're going to be helping me, someone is going to be doing something. And some people were acting out, while the others were trying to fit in one of those situations. And this is basically what we are living in our life. I mean, our daily life, what we do usually is living our own dramas. Sometimes we fall, sometimes we judge, sometimes we help, sometimes we see the other. And by the time that we have relationships, the relationships end up having that situation. It's like we are on a stage, this stage of life. And this is what's going to be about for our study today. I'm going to bring this drama of life. But is our life a drama? Right? Yeah. And this is going to be, the study today is based on the drama triangle. And the drama triangle is a I would say it's a technique for us to understand a little bit how we behave. Okay? And it's going to be what we're going to be talking today. Let me tell you a story. And this is going to be from a regular house, father and mother, living very happily. Okay? And they have this couple, this beautiful couple has a son, has a kid. And let me call him Junior. Okay? And remember, that's a very family, typical, happy family. Dad works outside, mom works outside, but that day, mom is at home cooking because she took the day off. And Junior, who was at school, arrived at home, and mom, when got in his room, the room was messy. It was like upside down. And by the time that the mom sees the son arriving home, tired from school, she says, "What's going on in your room? It's messy. Go there now and clean it." And then they started fighting because she wanted the room to be cleaned. And Junior said, "Mom, I was so tired. I was in a testing day. I had so many tests. I had the Florida F? S8, yeah. No, he is only 10 years old, but anyway. And then she said, "No, but you're very disorganized. Your days, you have nothing to do. You only have this study, and you don't even clean your messy room." "No, Mom, I did not have the time." And they started fighting. There was a conflict at home. By the time that they were having that conflict, Dad arrives home, hungry. That's very important. Okay? And by the time that he sees that situation, he sees his wife and his son in a conflict. And at that time, he had another position. He could go to the side of the mom or to the son. And at that time, immediately, when he sees the whole confusion, the conflict, he decides to go for the son's position. And he said, "Mi amore, love of my life, Junior is so tired." And he was doing some tests. So don't put a lot of pressure on him. It's fine. He's going to be cleaning maybe tomorrow or maybe during the weekend. Don't worry now. And then the kid who was upset because mom was complaining, now he is, "Oh, I'm relieved." And he left. "Oh, I'm free." And he went to the bedroom. While the mom was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm here. I take care of the house." And now he comes home. He doesn't even know what happened. And now he's judging me and looking at me saying I'm the bad person. And she went to the kitchen. And the dad goes to the couch, sits down, and starts watching TV. Okay? Out of nothing, Junior comes down and goes through the TV, and Dad says, "My son, I need some help. Can you bring Dad's bag from the office? Because I'm so tired. I was working the whole day, and I can't go. I'm so tired. Can you do me a favor and go there and get it?" And he says, "Dad, I'm so busy because I'm now playing a game and I cannot. I'm just grabbing something to eat because I need to return to the game." And Dad, in that situation, comes and says, "What? What? I just helped you with that situation and now you're not even able to help me grab my bag?" I don't know if this situation is similar to anyone or if you have ever seen this before, okay? But this is part of a study that this is how we behave. This is literally how we behave. And we can split this configuration of a behavioral scene into three major important roles. And what are these roles? The victim, the judge or persecutor, or the helper. That's why I said it's based, okay? The names are a little bit different from the drama triangle, but I think this makes a lot of sense to me, and that's why I brought a little bit different in terms of names. But these three major roles. The victim, remember, when the son was being judged by the mom, saying that he did not do anything, and he was, oh my gosh, poor me, help me. That's the victim position. The other one, the judge, the mom was saying, you did not clean your room, you don't have anything to do, and now you're not even helping me. And the helper, like the dad, when the father arrived, he said, oh my gosh, let me save my son because he's poor son, right? So, and these positions go around and around and around and around our daily activities. So let's see one by one. Let's see which one, and that's my question to you, not to you, but to you, to everyone who's here, full house, right? Yeah, you. When we are acting like a victim. So the first one is the victim. And the victim from the drama triangle is someone with the idea of being a child. It is a child. It's when we act as a child. It's probably that poor child that needs to be protected. And we get into that position. And that is the person who's seeking for help. Is always seeking for help. I need help. I need help. I cannot do myself. I need someone to save me. I need something to save me. I need a situation to save me. Sometimes I need a job to save me, or a husband to save me, a wife to save me, someone, a friend to save me. Sometimes even a church to save me. He's always looking for something outside to save me, because in my mind, in my subconscious mind, I have that sentence saying, poor me, poor me, poor me. And then someone needs to come here to save it. And it's a very difficult position to make decisions. In business, that person, that position, I don't want to say person because it's a position that, first of all, I would like everyone to be seen, which is the position that I play the most, okay? So, but it's tough to be making decisions, to solve problems, because I'm always seeking something from the external and to change the current state. The next one, which is the helper, this is very common because a lot of us is always, okay, we are always trying to help the other. And we very commonly, we put ourselves in that position. And it's very important because the helper position, there is something behind it. So sometimes I like to ask, oh, who feels like being the helper? And everybody, oh, of course I'm the helper. But it's very, I don't want to say dangerous, but it's also, we need to bring to the awareness because the helper position has something behind it that we need to be aware. So the helper position is always in the situation of poor you. Poor you. Poor you. And when we say poor you, we are actually looking at the other with the position, even being kind of a judge. Because if somebody is in need, I'm going to be oh, this is actually the beginning of a toxic relationship. Can you see that? Are we able to see that? Because it's the beginning of it. So the characteristics of the helper is a parent. It's coming from a role of a parent. But it's a loving parent. It's not a critical parent. While the victim is in the child position, the helper is in the parent position. But a very loving parent, someone who is there to share the love and help. And usually what is that position for? To help, to save the victim. Feel guilty by, have all good intentions. Helper has always this, oh, but that's my best intention. I want to help you. I'm going to help you. I see the other, poor you, and then I'm going to help you. But usually the helpers keep victims dependent. And that's when I was saying about the toxic relationships. Because if that is the motivation behind the help, that's when we start beginning the possibility of a toxic relationship. And the next one, the judge or the persecutor. Nobody judges here, right? Luckily, everybody here is very well elevated souls, right? And then we don't judge. And the judge, look at this, for those who judge, it's interesting because the judge comes from this parent position as well, but not that loving parent, but a critical parent. Someone who's always criticizing the other. And that's a position, okay? And I'm not saying here that maybe in the work we take that ownership, okay? But the judge think they win at any cost. I want to win. In any discussion, I have to win. And if I have to win, I'm the right one. If I'm the right one, the other one is the wrong one. Right? And who's here to judge? Who's right or wrong? So the judge is also good at finding fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. And this is the sentence in the mind. You are wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. So let's observe, or let's talk to ourselves. Let's see in which time or conflict or discussion or in a relationship that we are looking at somebody and somebody's talking to us. And by the time that the person is talking, we are not even listening. We say, oh my God, no, this is not right. This is, no, but by the time that we are saying these buts, it's already something that I'm not agreeing, I'm not even allowing the other to say. It's very common in our relationships. So the interesting thing here is why, if I silent a little bit, I listen to what the other person is saying, get the information, process the information, because we have a brain, we have this beautiful part of our brain called neocortex, that we can execute the thought and make a comment from my perspective, but not from understanding or assessing or evaluating that the other is wrong. Interesting, right? So, don't judge me. This is not me saying, this comes from the drama triangle, okay? It's a study for years in psychology. So, it's interesting because the judge or the persecutor, as the drama triangle says, they keep the victims trapped. And by the time that is, I would say trapped, but it's like feeling small. Poor victims, right? And then by the time that the victim is feeling small, the victim needs to find someone to save. And then the helper comes to save, and this is how we live our life outside. Not here. Here it's beautiful because everybody here is helping each other in a very good way, right? But what's behind everything? The worst part of the judge is that the judge can be bully. By the time that I'm saying that you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, or you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing this, the judge is going to judge and is going to see something in the other one that can be damaged in terms of what the other person is going to perceive. The worst part in terms of the victim is that the victim is going to feel always trapped. It's like the victim can't move. I want to live my life, but I can't. I can't move. Feeling hopeless, feeling helpless. And that's why the humanity, humans, we feel so much in that situation. There are so many involved in this that we need to find the savers, the helpers, someone who's going to save me. And that person who has the ability to communicate in a nice way, hey, I can do this. If you come here, we are going to find this. And then the victims will say, oh my gosh, that's my salvation. And they follow. But following or followers are trapped. You see how we get into a prison, trapped in this triangle over and over and over. Remember poor Junior, he was trapped, trying to find someone because he could not deal with his mom. Mom is doing this. Then dad comes and saves him, and then he's free. By the time that dad saves him and he's free, mom gets in the victim position, saying, oh, you see my husband now, my husband is judging me because I'm a bad mom. Oh my gosh, I'm a bad mom. I'm the worst mom ever. I've never seen this, right? I'm the worst mom. And then gets into the victim, looking for the savior again. Right? And then the father, when he was watching TV, that he was happy because everything, he said, okay, I'm the helper. I'm good. You see, my son is happy now. My son is perfect there. And then by the time that the son arrives and he doesn't do what he wants, that's the worst part with the helper. For those who are in the position of helper, I help a lot, the worst part is that they tend to expand. They tend to expect recognition. I help you because I need something. Here, usually, I don't hear this frequently, but in the past, a long time ago, I used to hear this, oh, I'm here because I'm going to get some bonus in my spiritual place, right? Right? Oh, it's like I'm not helping. There is some interest behind it. So there is a motivation behind my helping act. And helping by, like a healthy helper, is someone who does it with no interest in the mind. Because that comes from love. By the time that I help someone with the interest or with the motivation behind it, that I need something in return, that comes from the fear realm. And why is that? Because I need to control. I need to manipulate. And that controlling or manipulation comes from something that I'm afraid of losing. And then we need to let go. So you see it? Interesting, right? So let's understand a little bit, because the idea here is how, that's the question. How do I leave that triangle? How can I leave, or how can I get out of this jail, this cage of life? Because it seems that everyone is within that cage, within that triangle. And sometimes I'm a victim, sometimes I'm a judge, sometimes I'm a helper. Oh, most of the times I'm a helper. But am I really a helper? Because if I'm a helper and I don't get that back, my expectation will frustrate me. And by the time that I'm frustrated, I victimize. And back to the triangle again. Oh my gosh, I'm a victim. I know that I'm a victim. What am I going to do when I'm a victim? I'm not a victim. I'll do it. By the time that I start doing it, someone comes and say, hey, wow, you're different. You're doing it. Oh, really? Am I doing anything wrong? I go back to the victim. You see, if I'm not mentally strong to say, okay, let me see it, what I need to do. And that's what I would like to bring, some possibilities for us to mentally create strength to move and get out of the triangle. Okay? It's a process. So I would like to speak a little bit here in terms of emotions, our mind, and our spirituality, because it's a connection, all of this. Sometimes I see, okay, if I'm very spiritual, I'll be a helper. And as being this helper, it's so beautiful and I'm doing this. But if I don't understand what's behind that motivation that brings me that frustration, which is emotional, will lead me to the triangle again. You understand? Yeah. Am I saying too fast? Right? So we need to make a connection between what we think, what we feel, and how we act. And that's what I would say. It all starts in the mind. It all starts with what we think. And where is this mind? What is the mind processing here? What are the thoughts processing? Okay? I was outside listening to someone was talking outside saying that, I don't know, the discussion between last class, and maybe Humberto was talking about when you're drinking or you get out of your mind or your state of mind. And the discussion was about it, about this, that some people create a situation, they drink and they create a situation and then they excuse it by saying, I was drunk. Right? So this is what happens, because it's always our mind trying to create thoughts to excuse or to explain. But if I'm explaining some situation that I did, it's only to clean my judgmental ability to do something by judging someone or by judging myself. So you see that the mind is always creating triggers and creating processes so that we can release that guilt, or creating a victimizing ourselves from a situation. But let's see, how do we see the mind? And this is what I would like to explain to you. In epigenetics, which means everything is beyond what we believe or what we believed about our genetics. Epigenetics comes from what is on the top of genetics. And for years, we understood that everything is by our genetics. So if my father was, actually my father died by diabetes. And for years, I was like testing my blood because the percentage for me to be diabetic is high. Epigenetics is saying that it's not that truth. It's a little bit different because we are a result of the environment much more than our genetics. And it was interesting because Humberto was explaining this in the class while I was listening this. It was the previous class, and he was saying the percentage of 80 by 80-20. 80% is the environment, 20% is our system. And this is what science is explaining now. And what is everything coming from? Where is everything coming from? We see that every thought has an ability for us to create a reality. Because every thought will lead to an emotion. And that emotion will lead to an action. But before that action, we have some interpretation here, which is from our mind. So, by saying this, internal and external signals, internal coming from our mind, external coming from our environment. So, example, if I see someone doing something, what do I, by observing that, what do I interpret? And by that interpretation, will bring internally to my cells, or to my thought, a perception. That perception will create my behavior. How is this going to happen? By the time that I have a perception internally in my brain, that perception is going to send a message to my system, and my system is going to create proteins from a DNA level, from an RNA level to a protein level. And those proteins, by being created in less than 24 hours. In 18 hours, whatever I think, my system is already creating a protein, a new protein. And that protein level will create my new behavior. So whatever I think, I'm a smoker, and I want to stop smoking, okay, I'm not a smoker. Bingo, in 18 hours, I stop. My cells are creating a non-smoking process, a non-smoking protein, a new protein. But what happened? Before the 18 hours, I get a new cigarette and I start smoking. So what do you send as an external signal? Oh, I'm a smoker. Then in 18 hours, I'm a smoker. And then we keep getting over and over and over in that cycle. That's why we need to understand, we need to not reprogram, but we need to create a mentality that can be aligned to what I really want. And that's why it's so tough to change a habit. Because we're talking about behavior. Okay, so behavior comes from my thought that I interpret. From that interpretation comes my perception. The perception goes to my brain that creates the neural system now. The synapses will be created, and those synapses will be sent to my cell level that will create all the new protein level. And that's when I become what I am. From science would say most of our decisions, actions, emotions, this came from the US News recently, not recently, probably 2 years ago. Actions, emotions, and behavior depends on 95% of brain. When I say 2 years ago, but this is very similar to what Freud already said regarding our part of the knowledge that we don't know, right? So 95% of the brain activity that goes beyond our conscious awareness. So I don't know anything about me. I don't know anything about the other. I don't know anything about anything. So why am I judging? Why am I saying that the other is wrong? Or why am I saying that I'm wrong? Because the victim is actually the other side judge, because I'm judging myself. But if nobody knows anything, so who knows? And how am I creating the ability to judge the other person? 95% comes from that brain activity and from our inability to be aware. So Jung, the father of the analytic psychology, says mind and body are the expression of a single entity. My body is not alone. I need to connect this body to my mind, because mind is part of my body. And then I would like to expand more of this, because Jung, I would say he's not the father of analytic psychology. He would be the spiritual psychology. Because Jung had this ability to see all that's unknown. Everything that we cannot see, Jung already studied, saying that we are part of the collectiveness. Everything is one. Do we believe it? So if everyone is one, if you're wrong and you're me, who's wrong? Both of us. That goes back to the triangle saying, oh, that's why I am completely trapped. Because by the time that I'm looking something in the other, I'm putting myself in that same position. And if I want to be free or out of that triangle or out of that drama, the only way that I can do it is by being aware that the other is me and I'm the other one. Because we are one. But am I aware? Am I spiritually awake? Because now it's the beautiful thing, right? Oh, everybody's awake. Are we awake? Are we sleeping? And deadly sleeping, right? But then what we need to do is, by the time that I have that ability to connect to invisible or to the unknown, we at least can connect that everyone has that ability as well. And I love this saying that mind and body are the expression of a single entity, because as we are one, I need to see myself as one. And sometimes we are trying to help and trying to put everybody together to be, I would even say, manipulating us to be thinking in the same way, that we forget that we are not even aligned. What I think, it's not what I feel. Or what I see is not what I perceive. Or what my spirituality is saying is not what I really believe. Because we doubt. And doubt comes from fear. Doubt doesn't come from love. So I'm not here to judge. I'm here to open awareness. Because I'm also in the process of looking at all situations and people and remind me remind me that in order for me to leave that triangle, to leave that drama, I need to see, first of all, me has one unity. And from that unity, I can connect to others as a one unit as well. And then we can expand. So when we say mind and body, I was saying that a judge, a victim, or a helper is a position that mentally gets us static. When I say static, is stagnation. We don't move. A victim is completely static. A judge, a persecutor, is also static because I'm the right one. And then the helper, who tends to be a nice person, but that behind that helper, 99.9% there is interest, is also trapped by getting frustration when the other person doesn't return. Then the helper and the judge is very close in that position. Because by the time that the other doesn't give me back what I wanted, I'm going to become a judge. So, a solution, quickly solution. Change our mentality. And my invitation here, that's what I love talking about. Mind, 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 mind. And that's what I bring here. There is a solution in our mind. Changing that static mentality to a dynamic mentality. Changing that stagnation into a flow. Changing that fear from a loving system. We are a system, so a loving system. And loving in the level of love. Very high, elevated love. So it's a step-by-step process that we can create, that dynamic mentality. And then I'm going to redo here the triangle, okay? So as a solution to create that dynamic mentality, let's start with the victim. So if you feel that sometimes, or most of the times, you're being a victim, very common nowadays, very common, because a lot of people are feeling trapped in that position in many situations, not only at work, but sometimes at home, at work, with the friends. So how can I move from that poor me, remember, victim is poor me, into something that I can do? By the way, so the sentence is, I can do it. So for those who feels, or any situation when we feel that we are a victim, it's repeating mentally, I can do it. This is so tough for a victim to say it, but it's by remembering mentally, I can start making the movement. I can do it. I can do it. You see the victim, oh, can you help me? Victims love to call the friend, hey, I need help. Can you help me, please? And I understand that you need help. Okay? But be careful, helpers, because we cannot help 100%. And this is very common. Oh my gosh, I need help. I remember when I fell down here, and it was like the example when I fell, and then I asked some people to be the helper, say, you're going to help, and then judge, you're going to say, don't help him. I don't remember. I think it was Emily. I said, Emily, shout and say, hey, he doesn't need help. He doesn't need help or something like this, and everybody was judging her. Say, oh my gosh, she's saying that he fell down. And it was so amazing, the situation. I remember Anna was helping me. Oh, Anna was here, right?
No, I was here.
Yeah.
I got up.
Yeah, you got up to help me, of course. Anna helping me. Oh my gosh, it was Sueli help. Oh my gosh, he just fell down. It's interesting because that's the nature of humans. But the idea here is not to judge who did what. It's what the position in any situation that I take. So by the time that I feel that I'm a victim and I ask for help, instead of asking for help, you know what? Example for me. I don't watch TV. For years, I really don't watch TV. I don't like watching TV. Right? Even a series, okay, someone can tell, let's see this Netflix. I say, oh my gosh, okay, let's watch TV. Okay, we go there. Okay, if you want me to watch with you TV, okay, I'll watch a series. Okay, I'll watch it. But can you turn on the TV because I do not know how to turn on the TV. I don't know. I'm a stupid person who doesn't know how to switch off the TV. One day the TV was on because I did not know how to get the control and turn. And I was asking my daughter, hey, can you switch off? I said, no, I'm not. I said, can you help me because I don't know how to do it? You see? I was asking for a helper. And she did not help me. And what I did, I said, oh my gosh, and now this TV is going to be on. Okay, let's see. I was trying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and oh, bingo. It was off. I can do it. This is so stupid concept, but at the same time, it's how many times am I telling myself that I cannot do it? Oh, I don't know how to work with the new, the new computer or the laptop and kids, they immediately do it, right? And then us as parents, oh, can you help me? Because I don't know it. So why not saying, I can do it? I can do it. I can do it. And for those people who work, professionals who want to do a transition, right? There are a lot of people saying, I hate my work, but I cannot leave because if I leave, what am I gonna do? Can you help me? Can you help me doing my resume? No, do it. Do it. Oh, it's gonna be terrible. Oh, you're judging yourself already. You see how we process, our mind is always processing that position. I can do it is the answer for the victim. Then for the helper is always saying what? Oh, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. How? I would like to switch the position of helper to the teacher or to the coach position, which is the position that you ask the person or the other person how you're going to do it. Instead of giving the answer, oh, this is so cliche, right? Instead of giving the fish, you give or teach him or her to fish. So how will you do it? What are the possibilities for you to do it? That's an interesting thing. And that's the time when we disattached from the helping position so that the person doesn't get into the triangle and I don't get into the triangle. The person doesn't get trapped in the cage. I don't get trapped in the cage. Because if I'm here to get people that I'm the helper and everybody's going to be helped by me, I'm either putting everybody in the cage and I am also in the cage. And freedom, mentally, spiritually, comes from that free state of mind. That I'm here to be seen as the other and the other as free as I am. Because we are one. Then the judge position brings to the challenger position. In the challenger position, sentence is, you can do it. That's probably a very tough one. Okay? Because before we create that in our mind, that I'm going to challenge the person, before that, our mind is already judging the other. And we are already saying, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And by the time that you're wrong, you're criticizing, and we end up not saying the sentence that you can do it. Okay? Questions. For the creator's mind, the person who is in the victim position that says, I can do it, has, what do I want? What steps can I do to get what I want? Maybe here, what are the 3 things that I'm grateful for today? Use gratefulness, use gratitude. And here, instead of what steps can I do, I would say, what small steps can I do? What tiny steps can I do? Maybe, what is the only small baby step that I can do to do what I want to do? You see? Sometimes it's only one small step. I had someone who was the person called me and she said, oh, I need to help. Something happened. Something is happening. Something is happening. I need you to help me. I said, hold on. What's happening? Oh, because this happened. Boom, 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 boom. I said, okay, I got it. What can you do? I cannot do anything because now it's... I said, okay, hold on. Is there anything that you can do now? Anything? I can drink water. I said, yes, drink water and call me back. Yeah, that's what I said. Go drink water and call me back. The person 5 minutes later called me back, said, oh, you know what? I realized that I can do this and this and this. I said, oh my gosh, what happened? I said, no. So, thank you. I'll call you back later. I said, what? Because the mind that gets trapped keeps repeating over and over and over. That's a mind. It's not you. It's not me. It's the mind. So what steps or small steps? I like the small steps, okay? Then the other one, to change, switch from helper to the coach or teacher position, what do you want to see happen? Oh, that's a tough question, right? What do you think you can do to change this? And then the judge position to the challenger. If you can keep your side, this is very interesting because the judge position is always saying, I'm right, and you're wrong, and we have an agreement, we did an agreement, you promised that you would do this, right? Parents, interesting, right? I have that agreement. So if you keep your agreement, I'll keep mine. Support and encourage the other. And something that is very tough, which is putting limits and set boundaries. By saying this, I would like to bring an end up to today's study, looking at this picture that you can see here. I don't know, maybe it's a little too light. I love this image that shows planets, universe within us. And this is the image that no matter what we discussed here, what I presented, if I saw myself as a victim, as a judge, as a helper, no matter what situations I remember, maybe someone here was saying, oh my gosh, I wish somebody was here, right? This is the image that I would like to bring to our awareness that we are one. That whatever is inside is also outside. If you look at the system and the planets, and even more the universe as a whole, stars, we can see that same image within us in all cells, organs, tissues. So our system, whatever is within us, is also outside. And as I was talking about epigenetics, that the behavior is what changes from our perception, is our perception to heal ourselves when we have the perception of the universe. So huge, so beautiful, so abundant. So it's not the small situations that we see that will bring a perception of scarcity or lacking. But it's our really perception of the reality of this huge universe that we can look within us and see how huge we are. So for us to be creating this abundance, we need to be seeing everyone as part of this whole unity. Are we able to do it? Or is it easier to judge? Are we able to do it? Or are we too busy just trying to help? No matter whether we are helping, judging, or victimizing, it's time for us to remember who we are. And we are part of the whole incredible, amazing, beautiful universe. And we need to start seeing as one. That's what I would like you to keep this image as the universe that exists within each one of us. Oops. Thank you.